But we do have a big topic here today. It's human versus humanoids. All right, we have to figure this out. We're running out of time. Let me put it that way. So I saw Seth Hutchinson on the way in, and he said, just give me thumbs up or thumbs down. And I said, if you don't see me, you'll know what happened. So we'll figure this out, all right? All right, now, the way this works is we are going to do this like an Oxford-style debate, meaning that everyone's going to have a chance to stay their position. We're going to go back and forth between the for and against. Then there'll be some discussion. There'll be restatements, very short rebuttals. Then there'll be a short audience question. So if you have questions, come down to the front. And then we'll take a vote. So it's going to be 2 votes. The first vote is right now. And I want to know how many people are for the proposition. Namely, let me say it for you again. Humanoids will soon replace human workers. Put your hand up if you agree. Okay. Let me see. All right. Okay, scientific analysis here says about maybe 20%. Okay, how many are against the proposition? Humanoids will not soon be replaced by humanoids. Okay, I'm saying it's about 80-20, roughly. Okay, we'll see. Now, after the debate, you will have a chance to vote again. So keep an open mind, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so now, I have to say, I've been someone who's spent decades designing robots and teaching human students. And I can confirm that both of them occasionally have breakdowns. But the one difference with robots is they never complain about their grades. So we're here to gather to explore a future that is no longer science fiction. I think we all agree that what we're seeing at this conference at IROS, especially at the home of Unitree, and the amount of exhibitions and new products that are being exhibited, is the field is undergoing a transformation. There are more humanoids in that hall than I've ever seen in any conference, and so this question is really pressing for all of us: is what's going to happen? How fast is this transition going to occur? How is it going to affect work and workers and our own futures? All right, so to kick things off, I'm going to first introduce our first speaker on the for side of the equation. And this is going to be Huichan Zhao. She's going to introduce herself. She's from Tsinghua University, and she's speaking, as you can see, on the false side of the proposition. Okay, Huichan.
Thank you, Ken, for this introduction, and thank you for voting for us initially. So, can you show my slides here? Okay, the question is, can humanoids soon replace most human workers? Can you go to the next slide? And my answer is, of course, no. We all know it. And just by the vote a few minutes ago, 80% of the audience vote for no. We vote for no because when we think about the reliability of a humanoid, it is definitely not ready to replace human workers. Here, what we mean is, for example, the successful rate and also the life cycle of our joints, as well as the humanoid doesn't have the self-healing like human muscles. And the second thing, of course, we always talk about is generalizability. Here, we also mean adaptability to different tasks. We also mean it's fault tolerance to errors to this very imperfect world, and also for the transition cost from different tasks to another task. And another important point is safety. Here, we not only mean the safety to the people around the robot, but also the safety issue related to it will cost to the products and also the assets around it. At this moment, we still don't have the full trust a humanoid to work by itself. And finally, of course, is the cost. Here, I mean, the cost is not only the one-time cost. I know the very great companies like Unitree can make a robot very, very cheap, but we also have the maintenance cost. We will have many very, very talented engineers to maintain a robot to work at this moment. So these are the 4 reasons I think, of course, no, they will not replace human workers very soon. But what I want to say is this is not important. The more important thing is the claim that humanoids will soon take over human workers is a very, very dangerous statement. The dangerous comes from the 2 words. The first one is soon. Soon means that we will not have patience for this technology to evolve slowly from, for example, assist the people first, and then supplement people first, and collaborate people first, and then finally, maybe they can take over more work. So this technology, people are too worried about it, and therefore, we might lose the opportunity that finally humanoids will do more work for us. The second dangerous part is from the replace. Replace is a very, very negative word. People will be worried about that humanoids will take over my work and I will be unemployed. This will cause panic to the whole society. In such a way, I think it's not very good for this technology to evolve better. I'm against the statement that humanoids will soon replace most human workers, but I'm a big fan of humanoids. I teach a course at Tsinghua University on robotics. The most exciting lesson that I give is one related to humanoids. It is because we love humanoids so much that we cannot, we have to against that humanoids will soon replace most human workers. So that's my point. Let's give humanoids time and also give it patience to evolve slowly. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much, Huichan. Okay, next we'll have Xingxing from Unitree.
这个问题其实是相对比较复杂的，但是因为这是个辩论赛，说它主要是有正方和反方，然后我现在在代表正方，所以这边的话我就可能话题说的会有点未必完全准确，但是分享一下我的观点。像我觉得目前，因为我们公司主要做硬件，然后包括也做机器人软件，然后在当下今年以及像去年，大家也可以看到人形机器人的技术进步还非常非常快，包括无论做各种动作，而且我也相信未来几年发展也会比较快。但是目前最核心的，我觉得让机器人真正的，比如说在工厂里面、生活中大规模应用和使用，或者某种程度上解决、帮助或者替代原本的一部分工作，这个历程还是非常会发生的。那这个时间我觉得主要分2部分，就是当然现在先再说一下，就是当下最大的挑战肯定是看到反方那个有提到，就是目前的安全性啊、挑战，包括成本。各种可靠性的问题都非常非常多，但是我个人一直像过去也提到过，其实对于机器人真正的大规模应用，最大的挑战其实2部分，我觉得可以。第一是目前的机器人 AI 或者具身智能的 AI 的泛化能力和性能还不够，就没有达到一个机器人的 ChatGPT 时刻还没有到。然后第2点就是，一旦 AI 的具身智能的 ChatGPT 时刻到了以后，然后面临的下一个问题就是怎样让这个加载了这个 AI 的机器人怎么走进生活，无论是去工厂干活也好，或者在家里或者一些服务业，这会需要个过程。我现在反而感觉就是 AI 的这2个问题，第一个问题就是 AI 的突破时间可能会更快一点点，因为大家也可以看到，目前到现在为止，语言模型包括大多模态模型进展依旧是每个月或者每半年和1年进展速度依旧是非常非常快的。我个人感觉在纯机器人 AI 领域，在未来的2到3年，应该是可以达到一定程度的泛化能力，就可以达到什么程度呢？比如说到现在我们开这个会议的时候，现场基本上没有一台人形机器人在现场，但我觉得很可能再到2到3年，在这个会场，我可以随便我带一台机器人过来，他在这个情况下没有见过这个场景，他可以自己坐个位置坐下去，或者他帮我做一些，比如说帮我带一瓶水上来，或帮我搬一张桌子。我觉得在未来2到3年达到一个在没有场景的见过的场景下，它的泛化能力是可以达到的。我觉得在 AI 这个程度的进步，可能比这个还更快一点点。为什么呢？因为像过去我们公司做机器人也很多年了，包括我们也做机器人相关 AI， 但是每过去半年或1年，整个的技术进步反而比我自己预估的还会更快一点点，就比我自己的预估还会更快，反而给我带来很多惊喜。所以说我觉得 通用的 AI 的诞生或者机器人的相对泛用性的诞生还是比较快的，可能2到3年会有明显的进步。而且另外，当然不可能说是成功率非常非常高的，就并不能说，你带到任何场景或者带到一个家里或工厂里面去，它一点错误都不会犯，这个肯定是不可能在2到3年达到，但它的整个技术进度还非常非常快。然后再过几年，可能整个成功率或者它的成功率会达到更高级别。所以我个人感觉，在未来5到10年内，至少这个阶段里肯定是非常大的概率，相对通用的机器人的具身的 AI 是可以诞生的。如果大家在各方面大家的共同努力下，在大家共同的推动下，在工厂里面服务业，我觉得也是在5到10年内是可以慢慢进去的。但是大规模应用工厂里面或者很多满大街或每个工厂里面有大量的人形机器人，那可能时间会慢一点，因为面临很多的一些现实性的问题，无论是安全性问题、成本问题，或者可能会更慢一点。但是我觉得这个周期10年左右已经是算比较快的了，因为回望我们公司过去，我们公司到现在也有9年时间，其实时间真的非常非常快。如果站在10年的周期角度去考虑这个问题，我觉得还是已经非常非常快了。因为整个人类的历史，包括我们发明电脑也就最近几十年的时间，我觉得在这个周期非常非常快了。所以大概就是2个点，就可能是一个是 AI 的通用型的机器人的 AI 的诞生，还有一个就是把这个通用型的 AI 放到每一台机器人上去普及。我觉得就要分2个时间节奏吧，大概是这样的情况。谢谢大家。
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Xingqian. Appreciate this. And you have clearly demonstrated the greatest advances with the Unitree robots. I had the pleasure to actually get into a little fight with one of your robots at Coral, and it was actually a very close match. I have to say, I slightly was ahead, but I would say it probably won't be for next year. So I take your point. I think it's also very interesting that you bring up the idea of robots moving things and helping us. Let's say we were just trying to move the chairs on the stage, and I do foresee that we're getting close to robots being able to do that kind of task, moving things around, moving furniture. So I think that's a really good target for near future. And your other perspective that computers have moved so fast, it may not be next year, but your point is, with so many great minds working on this, that we are looking at something that could happen as soon as 2 or 3 years. Okay, excellent points. Thank you for that. Next, we are going to hear from the against side, and we have Andra Keay, who is the president of the Silicon Valley Robotics, to push back on this. Andra?
Thank you. I am going to push back because while I am a huge fan of humanoid robots, and there is incredible progress happening very rapidly at the moment.
Andra, speak up. Push the mic really close.
We mistake how rapidly things change in reality. My background has been understanding the commercialization of technology cycles, and particularly the rollout of humanoid robots. We're talking about physical hardware. If we look back in history, the automobile was commercialized back in 1890 with the Daimler-Benz company. It didn't seem to start mass production until 1908 with the Ford Model T. Even then, it was another 10 years before there were 1 million Model Ts produced. And it took 20 years for there to be a total of 15 million automobiles produced from that point. So that's 30 to 40 years to get just 15 million automobiles out there. It wasn't until 1950, so about 75 years, that we had 50 million. And now, almost 150 years later, there are more than 1 billion automobiles in the world. That's actually been 150 years. So this statement, soon, we're talking 30 to 60 years for the rollout of a physical technology. Not just automobiles. In the last 125 years of labor statistics, this is unemployment rate, we can see the impact on employment of the transition from horse to tractor, of the development of the automobile, of the personal computer, and of the internet. Oddly enough, unemployment rate remains pretty much the same. It was the Great Depression, global financial crises, and world wars that had the biggest impact on employment. What this means is that when a technology rolls out over a 30 to 60 year period, we adapt. The World Economic Forum is looking ahead for technological impact on employment in the next 5 years. Yes, some jobs will be displaced. Most jobs will remain stable, and more jobs will be created. So let's do the math. For this argument to be true, that humanoids will soon replace most human workers, well, global population is 8 to 9 billion, even if soon is 30 to 60 years, let's say 9 billion people. Do you know the employment rate globally is between 45 to 65%? That means we're talking about 4 to 5 billion human workers. Replacing most of them? That's 2 to 3 billion human workers. Does that mean we need to produce 2 to 3 billion humanoid robots? I think that is what the other side is trying to argue, and I say it's going to take more than 30 to 60 years. We have been building industrial robots since the 1960s. Do you know how many there are in the world today? About 3 million. That's all. The most widely distributed robot in the world is the robot vacuum cleaner, and that has reached about 50 million, but they've been commercialized for more than 20 years. So it takes a long time for physical technologies to roll out into the world, even if they are advancing in complexity and sophistication incredibly rapidly. Not only that, but to produce 2 to 3 billion robots, the automobile industry is the most comparative one. We often talk about very similar production, very similar bill of materials. To produce 30 million automobiles, which is what the Indian is the second largest producer of automobiles in the world today, it's created 30 million jobs. So for every automobile that is produced, a job is created. And that's what I see when I see the rollout of humanoids. I don't see them replacing most human workers. I see every humanoid robot that is produced is creating a new job. And one final point, the economists that create these headlines that say robots, humanoids, and automation are going to take all human worker jobs, these studies are flawed. They are fatally flawed. If you read all the way through it, you will discover that the job most likely to be taken by robots is that of a fashion model. It might seem like a very easy job to do, but I'm pretty certain that we will not be paying for humanoid robots to be the fashion models of the future, except in maybe very rare cases. One of the other jobs that is very, very likely, according to these study methodologies, to be automated is that of a chef. Now, we know that robots can do some kitchen jobs, but the job of a chef is very, very different. So there is totally a methodological flaw in all of the economic studies that talk about what jobs will be replaced by robots. It's Moravec's paradox. We over-rotate on things that we think are difficult for humans, and we completely ignore things that humans do very easily and take for granted. Steve Cousins from Willow Garage said that humans do not put "I can climb stairs and open a door" on our resumes and CVs. The DARPA Robotics Challenge 11 years ago had to test for those basic skills, and most robots failed terribly at opening doors and climbing stairs.
Andra?
Now,
we got to wrap up, so
okay.
I appreciate.
This is the final slide. We've seen a lot of progress, but it's been 11 years. This is Jim Phan's physical Turing test. He's proposing cleaning the house after a hackathon. My problem is I look at that and I go, that is a pretty easy cleaning job. This is what the real world looks like. Things are heavier, things are wetter, things are dirtier, things are messier, things are more chaotic, more dynamic, more deformable. Real human work in the real world, we don't have humanoids that can do that yet.
Okay.
I think 30
Excellent.
to 60
All right.
years, I'm done.
Thank you, Andra. Appreciate that. All right, very well spoken and very good use of statistics. It's a very interesting counterbalance that actually it will create new jobs. That's a really nice, interesting point. I think that's well taken. We should come back to it. That actually, like so many industries, it will actually create new jobs rather than replacing humans. Okay, excellent. Okay, Shigeki, let's tell her why she's wrong.
First, I'm an optimist. It's going well, everything. Then humanoids come to our side in the future. This is slide. Okay. But we need some premise. So then in my side, conviction, I believe that in the near future, human robots will be able to perform almost all tasks that human can do. But the humanoid robots are not android. You imagine some android very similar to human style or figure. I don't think it's not android. Then tasks that robot can perform need not be done by human. It means if robot handle all tasks, human can focus on what they enjoy. Hobby and some playing, everything. You can do. Robot can work. Robot do everything. We can free. It's very important. So even for tasks robot can perform, humans can do them if they wish. If we wish, we can do everything. But robot can do also everything. So, but another point is medical and the welfare fields. Please imagine in the future, even if robots become capable of doing anything, human interaction will never become unnecessary. Very important point. So this is our goal to the 2050 vision, the future society. One soft and general purpose robot can do everything. You can see their factory, business, homework, nursing care, health care, and treatment. Okay? So some people in the force side said, it is very difficult to do some treatment or something, but it's okay. And now this is a goal to the one human robot can do everything, like smartphone. We call the smart robot. So you can see just body repositioning, toilet cleaning, and assistant putting on socks. This interaction with the humans is very important. But now the robot can do in the welfare field. The robot can do everything. Oh, next. Okay, I will show you one video last. This is a kind of dream, but it is possible to realize the human-robot symbiosis. And in 2050, you can imagine in the space. Of course, we should consider the rule of the medical doctor. But robot can replace that human work, the treatment. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Shigeki. Appreciate that. Very good. Okay, so robots in space, robots taking care of us, and even doing surgery. Okay, and he sees a timeline, so you're getting to 2050 where there's a target of gradually replacing humans in so many of these fields. Okay, very good. So now we'll go over to Yi Guo from Stevens Institute. Yi, please tell us why Shigeki's wrong.
I don't believe that humanoids will soon replace most human workers. If I look unprepared, you're right, I'm not prepared. But, this is a topic many times my friends and I debate on the party table. So I thought I could just say blankly that first, technically, as robotic researchers, I think single-tasked or multi-tasked humanoid robots in the workspace are there. It's already, we've seen the Amazon humanoid robots recycling the empty tubes. So these are happening. But general purpose humanoid robots, I don't think, it's soon be in the workspace. I agree with Andrew's point that commercialization takes time. So that's from technical point of view. And the second, usually in the party table, I'm the one that tell my friends, don't worry, because my friends, as non-robotic researchers, they're worried, when they see a robot, and also those scary movies, on the flight. Here, I watched the movie like, killer robots or something. Many of those movies are available. They're scared. So usually I'm telling them, don't worry. Now that it's hard for a robot to pick up an egg. They don't know whether that's an egg or a stone. And it's hard for the robot to grasp grip. And if you see a real robot walking, you know how slow they are. So I'm usually the person that assuring my friends that don't be scared. It's not here yet. Maybe not in our lifetime. That's what I tell them. So I don't think we want the robot to replace humans, but if you change one word, like change the replace with assist, it's much better. So we want the humanoid robots to assist humans, but not replace. Otherwise, people will be scared. So I'll just stop here.
Thank you. Okay, Yi. Good. Excellent. All right. So she has personal experience. People are afraid. And I think you're right about the science fiction, right? I mean, that works both ways. I think in science fiction, in a sense, we see the future. And so many of us have seen that for centuries, for decades, that we've had robots around. It seems very natural if you watch a lot of science fiction. But it can also be scary, those visions. Okay. Good. All right. Tamim, do you agree?
No, of course no. So the question for me is not actually if humanoids will replace humans in many 3D jobs. The question is not if, but the question is when. And I am here to tell you that this will be in 2050. Let me put that in a perspective. So these are 25 years. This is the same time it took to go from Deep Blue beating Kasparov in chess to humanoids doing backflips. From robots navigating in very simple environments to robots navigating in complex terrain and in dynamic environments. And I think there are 5 undeniable forces why this will happen. So we have breakthroughs in mechatronics, novel actuators, sensors, 3D printing technologies. We are able to build torque-controlled robots. We are experiencing exponential progress in AI. Foundation models generalize from few examples, and this is the beginning. And it's a reality. It's a manufacturing reality. It's not science fiction. Companies like Unitree, Tesla, Figa, and others, they are now in mass production. We are not talking about prototypes, still, of course, lab demos, but we have now mass production of these systems. Economic availability. Look at the demographics. Everywhere, we need people to do the jobs, the works. Labor shortage is happening now. Society needs solution, and I believe such versatile systems like humanoid robots are the most appropriate solution for that. So aging population, labor shortage, we don't have any other alternative. And last but not least, the form factor wins. We could have, or many may think about other solutions, but I believe that the humanoid form is the best for our infrastructure. We have the infrastructure. We are not going or should not rebuild the whole civilization for other solutions. As a researcher and from research perspective, this is a conditional true. This is correct and achievable in 2050 if we solve the hard problems. And the hard problems are, of course, developing excellent, robust hardware. We did progress, but we need more. But the real hard problems are manipulation, robustness to uncertainty, safety and trust in interaction of these systems, because if they should take some of the jobs what humans are doing today, they are going to work with humans. And last but not least, we need really the brains, the real brains, the cognitive architectures for this embodied intelligence. If, as researchers, in collaboration between all labs on this planet, solve these hard problems, then we will achieve that in 2050. And now, some people in the room, of course, they are skeptical about what I'm saying here, but the history repeats. The doubters are always wrong. 95, internet is a fad. This is wrong. 2007, nobody needs a smartphone. This is wrong. 21, AI cannot understand language. Also wrong. And today, many here, or my colleagues, humanoids will not work or not have humanoids. And I believe in 2050, in 25 years, there will be somebody maybe in a debate here telling us cyborgs will not be possible. So, and the clearest path, the path is clear. So we will have systems which, this is happening already, which are able to operate in structured environments, perform repetitive tasks in controlled settings. 2035 to 45 general service work, where these systems will learn not only from billions of massive data generated in simulation, but learn from billions of real-world interactions. And starting 2045, the systems will be able to perform complex tasks. They will be able to reason and predict in order to act in a meaningful way. And the most important thing for us, we have to prepare society for this transition. This transition is happening, and is our goal and our task to prepare society for this transition. So we have 25 years. Let's get it done right without losing time in denying reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tamim. I want to say thank you for all your service also as editor-in-chief of the RA letters. You know, it's interesting because Tamim and Shigeki and I have a long history in robotics, right? We've been here for a while, and it's really interesting to hear your perspectives over time. The 25 years does not seem that long. And you've also made a very good point about the skeptics. You know, you mentioned some of them. I remember there's well-known stories that people said, you know, a heavier-than-air machine would never fly. It was impossible. Or that humans would never be able to release atomic energy. So there's a lot of negatives that skeptics out there, and they were wrong. All right, so now we have another editor-in-chief, the editor-in-chief of the Transactions on Automation, Science, and Engineering. Sun, you're up. Why should we be skeptical?
Okay, because you made me skeptical. Anyhow, so I enjoyed what Tamim said. I really wanted to say a lot of things Tamim said, the positive advances, but Ken assigned me to the against group. So I'll go along the against group. So what I want to say
speak a little closer to the mic because it's hard to hear.
So 2050, the year was mentioned twice a few moments ago. I'm sure 25 years, a lot of things will happen. But even by then, I put down a few keywords. Humanoids will not replace people. They will augment. They will assist us and collaborate with us. They're tools. They will not replace us. So more importantly, how I see humanoids work with humans is really they do most repetitive work for us. And for dexterous jobs, so very hard jobs, humans will actually do part of it. Because as far as the grasping work I have been involved, I don't see how a robot, a humanoid, will assemble micrometer scale or millimeter scale objects. They certainly are useful in doing repetitive work. And how I see humans work with humanoids is really humans give prompts, express intent, and robots, humanoids, will do part of the job. And for demanding part, humans will assist, and they work together. That's how I see they work together. So technically, I will not talk about cost issue, scalability, safety, ethics, social. There are many issues already mentioned. So technically, I see the body design, mechanical design, lots of work to do. We see lots of them walk funnily a lot of times. They don't walk really like humans. And I see the AI part and control part, lots of work to be done. And I also put down emotional. I see robots. I personally don't feel comfortable or enjoy talking to a humanoid or ChatGPT, because I know that's not a human. The emotional, contextual understanding is not quite there. 25 years, probably will be there, but they will not replace us. So a couple examples in grasping and surgery that the areas I work in. I see grasping lots of progress, very exciting. But for grasping deformable objects, for example, cables, a recent project I joined with Samsung, with a Korean company led. So manipulating these cables is a lot harder than you can think. If a robot can do this in 25 years, any types of cables, that would be quite an achievement. I know it's a very hard job. I work in the area of micrometer scale. I worked in Zurich. That picture shows you if you go to a watch company, really a house, a human assembles many, many millimeter-sized objects together to form a good watch. A humanoid do that? Even 25 years, I suspect that will not be completely done by a humanoid. It would be useful to do part of the job. For surgery, for human surgeon and robot surgeon, my last example, for any surgeon, right now, we lack a lot of data, useful data. This is not recognizing cats or dogs. This is real business for doing surgery. And how I see a human works with a robot surgeon is really the human will be in the loop and look at the decisions recommended by robots, a humanoid, for example, and the human will confirm or reject decisions recommended by them. So my conclusion is the key word should be augment, assist, collaborate, not replace. And last word is about automation. Humanoid right now is not useful for automation because according to the journal's definition, I can't study this, automation's necessity is high efficiency. And we know how slow they are, both in locomotion and manipulation. But 25 years, you never know. So I certainly will see exciting things along the 25 years path. Thank you, Ken.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sun. Excellent. Okay, so you're pointing out some issues of of speed as an automation expert, and I think that's a really good one. Is to talk about speed. And actually, from the pro side, do you feel that we're going to be able to solve the speed question very quickly? Anyone?
Yeah, maybe I can start. I mean, the speed question is a very, very important one, speed and robustness, indeed. Maybe many people think the speed is only linked to hardware, to more powerful actuators. But I think the problem of the speed, or why our robots are not fast enough, actually, is that we don't have an understanding how many things should be implemented. I mean, in robotics, we are decomposing problems like generating grasps for an object, generating collision-free trajectory, of course, before you have to perceive the environment, and so on. And this is a very classical way of thinking. We need a better understanding how such processes actually, and why they function in humans in a very, very fast manner.
Good.
I mean, in human research, we know that manipulation and grasping is not about perception and action, but it's about prediction based on experience.
Good.
And this understanding is still missing, actually.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting to say that we have existence proof that there is possible to solve these problems, right? Because it's all of us as humans. It can be done. The question is how can we get there? And I have a question for XingXing, and it's based on Andra's point. Namely, she said that robots may actually create more jobs. And as someone who speaks to investors and the public about your company and your vision, do you agree with that? Is that something that you might say, is that actually that the robots you're producing, the humanoids, may end up becoming an entirely a job producing for humans?
对，关于您这个问题的话，其实我一直觉得，机器人整个大家这个话题本身是比较有一点点那个不是特别友好的一个话题啊这类事，因为大家提到取代，大家可能心里会很多人都会有点很多担心。我觉得最大的这个问题是，随着像现在的很多工厂自动化设备已经非常非常多了，然后在很多机器人，很多人会问，比如说人形机器人去工厂，它的速度可能会不够快，但实际上简单说就是在工厂里面你不要去跟自动化设备比那个生产速度，这是比不了的，永远是自动化设备比人形机器更快一点啊这类事情。还有另外一点就是，我觉得整个过程是会相对友好的，就并不是说机器人的 AI 技术发展突然爆发了，或者那个人形机器人大规模普及了，会取代或替代到很多人，让很多人没有工作。我觉得这个事情没有大家想的那么担心，因为像过去的很多像汽车发明了汽车也好，可能没有马车了，但是还是创造了新的工作，并且的话大大的推动了整个人类的文明和科技的进步，让每个人的生活变得更好。我觉得人形机器人也是一样，真正的通用的机器人出来以后，它对每个人生活的反而是改善了很多方法，而且某种意义上让机器人去从事生产，包括农业，让物质更加丰富，然后每个人都可以住到更大的房子，可以开上更好的车，然后有吃不完的东西，我觉得都是有可能实现的。而且在那个时候，整个的政府可以给每个人提供更好的生活福利程度，甚至像我以前提到过，就是政府其实是完全可以管控这些机器人，可以对每一台机器人收税，就是它虽然替代了或者做了一部分工作，但是它可以一台机器人，比如说要产生多少价值，然后直接 交给政府，然后政府再统一发给每个人，让每个人真正可以一些体力劳动或者一些辛苦的工作都不需要做，真正让每个人去从事自己想做的事情，然后给解放了很多生产力。因为像过去无论是我们比如说发明了农业的一些设备也好，比如说每个人现在很多情况下都有一些农业设备去可以自动种田，可以去采摘了，某种意义上是不是取代了很多一些替代了一些那个农民？但实际上对整个社会来说反而是很好的一件事，让每个人不用为粮食所担心，然后每个人都可以吃上更加便宜的食物。其实我觉得工业生产环境包括机器人真正后续带来的环境跟这个还是非常类似的吧，会大大的提升了整个人的生产力节奏。其实我一直觉得这样真正的通用 AI 或通用机器人的诞生，其实跟过去发明的电或者发明的蒸汽机是非常类似的，可以推动整个人类社会达到一个新的台阶。我觉得这是最大的价值，对整个社会都非常有意义的一件事情。
Excellent. Okay, great. Because it is an interesting vision that, in some sense, that humanoids, rather than replacing workers, will actually just take over certain jobs or certain tasks, and that will actually free humans. For example, there's one task that is taking care of seniors and letting them live at home. There's nobody really doing that job right now. So having a robot do that job wouldn't displace a human. It would just basically allow people to live longer in their homes. It has many advantages. So I really like that way of thinking. I appreciate it. Now, another point that was raised is Sun just brought up the point about motors. And actually this was echoed by several on the negative side, that we don't have the motors, we don't have the actuator technology. It's too, it's not strong enough, or it's not energy efficient enough. How, anyone on this side feel, will we solve the motor problem, or are we already solving it? Shigeki?
Yeah, I already said I am an optimist. Okay. And all the hardwares, mechanisms, and softwares is now progressing forward.
Yeah.
So I believe that technology advanced. Then there is no doubt to build the human robot like humans, so that robot can do everything. I already said that robot have to do everything. What I want to do, that human do. But we ask the robot, like humans, asked it to do everything. Then I optimist. Then there is no doubt about introducing the human robot.
Okay.
From the point of view hardware advancement and also the AI advancement.
Okay, good. So you're an optimist. I'm an optimist too, but there's certain technologies that we've imagined for a long time, like jetpacks, and we haven't gotten them. We're not anywhere close to getting jetpacks. So, in solving hard problems like cancer, and there are fundamental problems in fusion, nuclear fusion, that have really eluded progress. So we do make progress on many fronts, but it doesn't mean that we can solve all of them. And now I want everyone we have just a few minutes left, so I'm curious on the false side, what are some jobs that will not be possible with robots? Just if you could each give one example of a job that you think. Andra said fashion models. I think she's right about that, by the way. But one example of something you don't think that will be replaced. And on the for side over here, one example of a job that you think will be taken over by robots relatively soon. Like, what are the near-term low-hanging fruits for humanoids in particular? And I can tell you, here's one that I want everyone to think about is, I'm curious, who is doing the translation between English and Chinese? May I ask our organizers, who is doing that translation? Is it a machine or a human? It's an AI machine. Okay, with all due respect, I think we could use a human to do this job a lot better than we're getting from this translation system. Okay, that is an absolutely okay but pretty bad translation system that seems to make a lot of mistakes. So I, for one, would love to have a human doing that job right now, and I think that's going to be something that we'll need for a long time. All right, so just real quickly, this is a fast round. So let's start. Huichan, what would be the one thing that robots can't do? Just one quick job.
Sewing. Sewing. a
Sewing.
thread, yes. Making
Sewing.
clothes. That's very, very difficult. I think it's not replaceable by humanoids at this moment. So
Okay.
there are many workers work in the factory that are really tedious, but not many people, many researchers are working on that.
Okay, that's a good one, especially because in surgery, that's a big issue, is sewing. But I would have to say, I was just thinking in the shower the other day, you know, if someone had said, make a sewing machine in the 1800s, I would have thought, oh, it's impossible. But sure enough, we've had sewing machines for 100 years, and they work beautifully,
We do
right?
have sewing machines, but we still need someone to do
Feed.
the tedious work.
Yes. Okay, good point, good point. Okay, over here, what's a job that we will get done soon? Do you, any one of you want to take it? What's one job that robots can do very soon? Humanoids.
Yeah, many. Actually, many, right? I mean, this will happen in the next years, as I.
Well, what's the nearest one? Near term.
I mean, in many companies, actually, they don't find workers now to work to run the company or the factory 24/7.
Okay, so night shifts
and
in factories.
these are really simple jobs where humans are standing or sitting in front of a conveyor belt to collect things. And I think these are, but they need some dexterity.
Okay.
Not perfect dexterity like the example now, but I think.
Okay, machine tending.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, on the against side, Andra?
Childcare and senior care.
Child care and senior care. Okay.
And we need robots to do this job.
Yeah.
But it is probably the hardest thing. Like sewing, like housework, like women's work, like working, yeah.
Did you
Working
say
with-
women's work?
Generally speaking, a lot of women's
If I
jobs
said that, I would get shot.
underpaid.
Okay.
No, you would. Underpaid, undervalued,
Okay.
and really
No, I agree.
hard to
I agree.
automate.
I agree. By the way, you know, it's interesting because in all the discussion, we didn't talk too much about older people. And Xin, I know you don't think about this because you're a young guy, but I'm older, and I think about robots are going to be, I need a robot to take care of me soon. And that's going to be, I think, a very big market for these robots, is taking care of people who want to stay at home. Okay, what were you going to say before as your job that you think humanoids can do soon?
像我们今年就已经我觉得像机器人在娱乐和游戏行业目前反而是更快一些，包括机器人的一些比赛，包括一些娱乐的比如表演，这个其实是今年在中国就已经有产生了这样的一个，当然它不是个取代，是个增添了很多的有趣的事情。
You know, it's interesting because I think that there will be entertainment, like a fighting between human and robot. I think there's a big market for that. I tell you, I'm serious. I think a world mixed martial art champion against the best robot in the world, I'll watch that. Okay, that's interesting. All right, Yi, what would you say?
I think I give example. I enjoy cooking in my kitchen, and I'm creative in my cooking. When I cook, I want maybe a robot help me to mix the flour and help move the dish from the dishwasher. But I don't even let my husband to touch my cuisine when I cook, so I won't let the robot to create a new recipe or something. So I would say that's my example.
That's good. She won't even let her husband help, let alone the robot. Excellent. I like that a lot. Okay, Shigeki, what's a job that robots can do now?
Yeah, I have a comment about the
Eating?
comment.
Oh, cooking.
So, yeah. So she likes cooking. That's okay. But sometimes she's very tired. So they ask the robot to do. Then there's no problem. The important point that you want or you do not want.
Yeah.
But always, robot can do everything.
Okay.
Future robot. Then there is no problem.
All right. Good. Yes, and if you're in a hurry, you need a robot to cook you a quick meal. Okay, very good. All right. And Sun, what's a job that robots will never do?
Okay, I'll pick a surgeon.
Surgeon.
And I'll tell you why. Probably it's not because technical incapability. It's not because of that. Eventually, robots can do the job, every single physical movement. but the doctors all I worked with, they all say patients need care and empathy. And that's one thing I think humanoids severely lack at the moment. So I pick a surgeon.
Okay, good. And I think that care and empathy is actually really an interesting one because some people say, AI can replace a stockbroker right now, right? That seems like a job. You don't even need a robot for that. But, a stockbroker is really important when the stock market goes down and you need to talk to somebody because you feel terrible and you're scared, right? So that's where like a human can help out. And I think that's true for a lot of customer service jobs too. You don't want a robot when your flight got canceled or you lose your luggage, right? You want a human to help you out. Okay, so we've heard a lot of arguments on both sides of this, and we're going to take another vote of the audience to see where we stand. So how many in the audience feel at this point that humanoids will soon replace most human workers? Please put your hands up. Oh, interesting. We're down to 10%, I would say. Okay, we made some progress. The foresight made some progress, probably because we were a little outnumbered over here, which is my fault. I'm sorry, it was a little unfair. But this is very interesting. Okay, because usually there's not much change in an audience, so I'm actually very surprised. But I have to say, we have some of the world's experts here, and I'm so lucky to have them. I also want to thank two individuals who played a very important role in this. Huichan and Huichan, please raise your hands. These two have been absolutely wonderful to work with, and this was not on the original schedule for the conference, but we suggested it a few weeks ago. They sprung into action. They were super helpful, organizing a million little details and getting the right people, and they're just absolutely great, and they deserve a huge amount of appreciation for not only this, but for this entire conference. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And there are a few others, Frank Park and Michael Wang, who helped with preparations. I want to thank them. But most of all, I want to thank our panelists. Thank you so much for coming, for sharing your ideas, and for your great arguments. I know that this is not a black and white question. It's really complex. We're all pro-robot. We want to see robots succeed. We will succeed. It's just a matter of when. And I think that we've gotten some great insights on this question today. So thank you, and thank you all.